Hello everyone, my name is Alicia and I'm going to be giving the webinar today. Today we're going to talk about one of the additional apps that you get access when you subscribe to ReFX. I am in my control panel in ReFX. When you subscribe to ReFX, you have this first tile that's your main product, whether it's Platinum, Professional, or Professional Dialer. This is where you would go. Clicking here on this tile is where you would go to do your searches and start working and finding properties and sending contracts and whatever. However, you might have seen, I'm sure you have seen, that you have these tiles here, BnBvestor and Deal Generator. These are apps that we sell individually, but as a ReFX subscriber, you have complete access, completely free to these applications, logging into them with the same credentials that you use for ReFX. Deal Generator is an app that is used for what's called driving for dollars. And BnBvestor is used to analyze the information for the bread and breakfast market. And this is the one that we're going to talk about today. If you want to know more about Deal Generator, look up our previous webinars. You will be able to see everything about this one, or feel free to give us a call and schedule a coaching, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. But as I said, today we're going to talk about BnBvestor. To log into BnBvestor, all you have to do is click on this tile, and that will take you to that site. It will open this. You can, as I just told you, open ReFX and come here, and of course you do have to log in, or open a browser, type in bnbvestor.com, and it will take you to the same place. You have to log in. So I click here and log in, and use, as I said, the same credentials that you use to log into ReFX, your email and the password that you use to log into ReFX. This is what I need to type in here. I am already logged in here, so I'm not going to do this. So here I am. This is what I see when I log into BnBvestor. As I said, make sure you are logged in. If you're logged in, you will see your name in the top right corner. If you're not logged in, you won't see your name here, and you'll see that some places in the system will be black. For example, this area down here will be gray. You won't have access to this information down here. You might be able to do searches and things, but you won't. At certain moment, the system will tell you you do not have access to this. That is because you're not completely logged in. As I said, check here on the top right corner that your name is there. If your name is there, then you are logged in. Okay, when you subscribe to ReFX, if your ReFX account is for one county, whether it's Platinum, Professional, Professional Dialer, if it's for one county, you will have access to the information of BnBvestor for the state of Florida. Not one county, but for one state, the whole state of Florida. If your ReFX account is for all counties, you will have access to BnBvestor for all the states in the United States. However, I have to bring up to you that BnBvestor is available not only for the analysis of information of the bed and breakfast market for the United States, it's also available for other countries. So if you are interested in investing in this type of business and outside of the United States, then in that case, you will have to subscribe directly to BnBvestor for that country that you're interested. Give us a call and we'll help you with that. With your ReFX account, you have access to the United States. So let's begin and show you what this is all about. Okay, first of all, I'm right here. I'm in all of the United States. As you see, you might have noticed that some states are dark green, some are light green, yellow, red. What this tells me is which states have the most properties up for rent for BnB. BnB being vacational rental, per day rental, however you want to call it. These are people that have properties that are being rented not for regular rentals, as we would usually call regular rentals, are the ones that have a lease for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever type of lease they're set up for. The BnB are set up to be rented per days. This BnBvestor particularly analyzes the information that comes from Airbnb. So with this, you will be able to access that information and see which are the best type of properties in any given area. That is, as I see here, I'll go into more detail, but talking about type of properties, I'm talking about studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, entire, only 1 room inside of a house, or the whole property. So that's what one of the things it tells you. What are the best seasons, the best months, the best time in the year for renting in any particular area. Right now, I'm in the whole of the United States. I'll go into a specific area in a minute to show you that. So as I was telling you about the colors, the green, dark green tells me that these are areas where I have the most amount of properties that are being rented per day. Out of all the properties that are active for rent, whether they're BnB or regular rentals, the green, the areas where it's dark green, between 76 and 100% of the properties that are being rented are put in the BnB market. That is, they're rented per days. With the light green, Nevada, Utah, Missouri, Illinois, we have between 51 and 75%. The yellow ones, we're talking about Montana, Idaho, New Mexico, Oklahoma. We have between 26 and 50% of the properties, the total properties for rent, between 26 and 50% of the properties are being rented per days. And the lowest states, that would be North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Kansas, West Virginia, Mississippi. Those, out of all the properties rented, between 1 and 25% are being rented as BnB rentals. So let's zoom into Florida. I just click on it and click here and go, and the system will zoom into that area. So as you see, the graphs updated themselves to show me specific information for Florida. Again, I can see the different colors in the different areas. Dark green would be the most amount of available properties for BnB. Light green, so in between 51 and 75% properties in BnB, yellow and red. Once again, I'm going to zoom in a specific area and tell you a little bit about each graph. Okay, so here we have, again, as you see that you have the different areas identified with the colors of the amount of properties that are being rented per day against the properties that are rented on regular rental lease. But let's look at the graphs on this side. Rental index. What this shows me is that from April 21 to April 22, that is in this past year, the rentals for BnB has steadily increased. That's something that really isn't surprising since we are coming out of the pandemic closed down. So slowly it has been coming up, being at the lowest and last April and steadily increased until now. Then I have the second graph. It tells me in this area that I'm looking at, what is the type of property that is most looked for the people that look for properties to rent per days. In this area, we can see that the 2-bedroom properties are the ones that are most looked for, followed by 1 and 3 bedrooms, and at the lowest we have 4 bedrooms. Then we have the graph for host. We have single listing host, multi-listing host, and super host. What is this? This is telling me that in this area, we have 1,394 listings for single listing hosts. That is, this 1,000 and some properties that are being listed, the host, that is the owner of the property that has the active listing, only has 1 property listed on the market for BnB. Then we have the multi-listing hosts. We have 345. These multi-listing hosts are hosts or owners that have from 2 to 10 listings in this area. And then we have the super hosts. We have 269. These hosts have anywhere from 10 to any amount of properties active for rent and the BnB market at this moment. So if we look at this last graph, it's actually comes out of this one that we just saw, that we have single listing hosts and multi-listing hosts. The amount of properties at the end being that the single listing are 38% and the multi-listing hosts are 62%. Okay, then we have, this is the general overview. Then let's go to occupancy. What does the occupancy graphs show me? This shows me which are the best months in the year for the BnB in this area. That is, in these months, the highest percentage of occupancy, that is, that the properties are booked, which are the best months. So we have that July and March are the best month, having with July 88% of the properties that are being listed for per day rentals are booked or occupied, and in March also 88%, being the lowest in December with 55%. However, even though at the lowest, we see that 55% is actually a pretty good number for occupancy, even at the lowest point of the year. Then we come down to the other graph, this one shows me average daily rate. That is how much is being charged per day and how it fluctuates through the year, which are the best months with the highest average daily rate and which are the lowest average daily rates during the year. Again, it actually, you can see that it does correlate with the same month on the for the occupancy. In July, that's the most occupied, the most popular occupied month. We have that is precisely the month where the average daily rate is the highest, being 185 per day. Same thing with March. That's also the other month that's the highest occupancy. It also correlates with the highest average daily rate on being $193 per day. Here we can see that December, that's the lowest up here. Actually down here, it doesn't come that low, it stays at 165. So let's look at the actual properties. To show me the actual properties, I have to actually zoom into one of the properties down here. So I'm going to click in one of the green areas. I click on it, and again, I click and go, and the system will zoom in. It will recalculate all my graphs. And now it will actually show me the actual properties that are active for rent. As you see, you have this green little square and this red little dots. The difference between the green ones or the red ones are these are regular rentals and the other one is per day rentals. The map will show me, the system will show me both of them, the BnB rentals and the regular rentals. I can turn off the BnB rentals, and these ones are properties are being rented regular for a year, 6 months with a regular lease, the rentals that we are all accustomed to. If I click on one of them, I will see the actual property and a bit of a description, but remember that they are green, so they're not being rented per day. However, if you are going to, or if you're thinking, or you might be contemplating the idea of incurring in this type of business, have in mind that you don't actually have to buy the property and to put it in BnB or rent it per day. You can actually rent it. Of course, you have to talk to the owner and come to an agreement that you are going to rent his property and put it for rent for BnB. That's something that you have to clarify with him. But the idea of BnB is that you don't have to actually own the property. You can rent properties and put it in BnB, or you can buy properties and put it in BnB. It's your decision and how you want to incur in this type of business. So this, looking at the green ones will give you an idea of what properties are for rent, and you would be able to see, for example, that one that I just clicked on, in that area for BnB, this type of property would have an average daily price of $81, $81.57, and an occupancy rate of 100%. Well, No, the occupancy rate in this case, 100% is because this is a regular rental. So if you take a property that is being leased for a year, of course, the occupancy will be 100% because that's what we're talking about. The lease is for the whole year. So it's booked, it's, let's say, booked for the whole year. Let's turn off the regular rentals and turn on the BnB rentals. That would be the red ones, and click on one of them. So now we have a entire place that is the whole property. Remember that for Airbnb, you don't actually have to rent the whole house. If you go into the Airbnb, if you personally are going to travel and go into Airbnb, you will find properties that are not being rented the whole property. There, some people rent a partial part of the property, or maybe even a room inside of their house, maybe an efficiency, not necessarily the whole property. However, this one, that's why it's labeled this way, entire place, that is, the entire property is being rented, the entire vacation home in Ormond Beach, 2 bedrooms. It's set up for 6 guests. It has 5 beds, 2 bathrooms, average price 200 per day. Average occupancy 0. This could be that it's new in Airbnb and that's why it doesn't have an average occupancy, because if we went to the, I'm going to go out. No, if I go out, it will take me out of here. So I'll show you that. Remember that when we saw the occupancy, we saw that the best months were July and March. That still applies here. So in this case, as I said, probably this property is new and doesn't have enough information right now to calculate an average occupancy rate. Let's click on another one. There. Okay, so this one, again, is an entire place. It has 4 bedrooms set up to accommodate 8 guests with 6 beds and 2 bathrooms with an average daily price of $202 with an average occupancy of 73%. That is, that out of the 365 days of the year, 73% of those days are booked or have been booked in the last year. And average revenue, calculating that $202 that are being charged for 73% of the whole year, gives me a $4,484 revenue in the whole year. This does not include taxes or services or whatever. This is the gross revenue calculated that way. If I want to see the actual property, I can actually see it. All I have to do is click on it and it will take me to Airbnb and show me the actual property. That is, if you want to see what is being rented in the area. It's not, oh, there it is. This is the actual property. I can look at the picture, whatever, and see any other information. This is actually just directly in Airbnb. Again, I have the general overview. I have just as we had before. This one is a little bit flat the first part of the year, or last year actually, but just as it did when I was in the whole state, or I was actually in the whole county. it did pick up and is at its highest right now in April 22. Again, the rental type that are the best are the 2 bedrooms. However, the 1 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms are not that far away from the top one, that being the one that it's really quite low. It's the studio ones. And again, we have a lot of single hosts, in this case 32, and very little multi-listing and super host. Want to see the host? We can see that too. Click here. And these are the actual hosts in this area. That we have Ian with 4 listings. If I click on him, I will actually see the 4 listings. And it will zoom in and I can see the actual, I can only see 3 little dots. Where's the other one? Okay, in any case, these are the 4 listings that he has. And I can see also where are the guests, the people that are booking these properties come from. We have people from Miami, Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, Dayton, Charlotte. No, actually in this area, they're almost all local people, local being from the actual Florida. We only have some from Georgia, Illinois. Okay, so let's look at the revenue. Again, this is as we saw before. Well, this one shifted a little bit. It's not in this particular area, it's not July. It's August, the best month, and February. Yes, in this area, it shifted a whole month. Curious. Then we have rentals, regular rental size. This is regular rentals. This is the information for properties that are being rented regularly. The best, we have 10 active listings for 3 bedrooms. Again, with 3 multi-listings, agents, and 4 single listing agents. So let's go back. Seasonality. Here with seasonality, we can actually see on the calendar, again, the colors still remain the same. The dark green are the most occupied months. That is the properties that are being listed for Airbnb are most commonly booked, most effectively booked, sorry. And these days are dark green. As you see, 85%, 81, 80. Again, if we come down June, July, the light green would be 71%. The yellow, well, actually it's not yellow, it's kind of apple green, 44%. In this area, we actually do not have bad days. There is no red ones. So this is a pretty good area for Airbnb. So let's go back. We can filter the host. I'm not going to do that. Okay, you might have noticed, oh, of course you have, let's look at the icons on the top to show you what they are about. First of all, we have, if I go here, I'll go from to the beginning, but let's go back to Florida. Let's zoom in into Florida again. Sure. Let's wait for the colors so I can pick a green area. There. Okay. So here what we have in the top. First of all, we have Bnb Academy. Unfortunately, no, you don't have access to the Bnb Academy. The Bnb Academy is for those clients that subscribe directly to Airbnb with an annual subscription. What is in the Bnb Academy? There are videos and tutorials on how to actually incur in this business. For example, if you're going to rent a property, how to approach the owner to tell them, hey, I want to rent your property, but not actually for myself. I wanted to put it in, how to sell this idea to the owner so that he will rent it to you and put it and let you put it in Airbnb. Actually, if you think about it, when you rent for Airbnb, you have to keep the property in top shape. So it's actually not, for the owner, it's actually not that strange of a, it's not that often an idea. If you're going to rent it and put it in BnB, in Airbnb, you have to keep the property in top shape. You can't destroy it. You, of course, you will have a X amount of people coming in and coming out, but between each person, each guest, you have to go in the property or get a service that will come in, clean up, and leave everything in top shape for the next guest. So the property, you can guarantee the owner that the property will be always in top shape. So it's not that crazy of an idea to let you rent your property, for the owner to let you rent the property and put it in Airbnb. The property will not be occupied 100%. Bnb Academy, unfortunately, is not available unless you subscribe directly to Airbnb with an annual. And what do you find in the Academy? You will find videos and tutorial on how to put the started in this. For example, if you want to rent a property, you will be able to approach the owner and actually sell this idea to them. When you're put, it's actually not that crazy for an owner to let you put his property in Airbnb, because you will be obligated to keep the property in top shape. It's the only way you will be able to have the property in Airbnb. Between guest and guest, you have to bring your property up to top shape to accommodate the next guest. So the property will be well taken care of. Also, it will you will find videos and tutorials on how to service the property, that is how to get the security you need, how to get the cleanup that you need, and whatever you need to actually incur in this business. However, as I said, to have access to the Bnb Academy, you have to actually subscribe to Airbnb with an annual subscription. Then you have Bnb My Site. Once you actually do have properties in Airbnb, you can come here to My Site, put in all your information here, and you can start adding your own listings here. This is for your control. No one will actually see what you have listed here, because this is not a site for someone to visit. This is for you to have your listings and have your information and keep track of what you have. If someone else needs to see the properties, they do have to go to Airbnb and see the properties. Then you have rent a deal and buy a deal. What are these for? This system will look for properties in any given area that the system considers that are attractive to put in BnB. Let's go to buy a deal. And to show you what I'm talking about. Let's zoom into an area. Let's go to Florida. Let's wait for the system. Let's go down here to Miami-Dade and zoom in to a particular zip code. And I'm in buy a deal. So let's see places. These are the properties are, no, that's not what I want to do. I went back to, well, okay. For some, it took me out of the specific zip I was in and it brought me back in, but that's beside the case. So I wanted to show you is this. These are properties active for sale. All these little green dots are properties that are active right now for sale. If I click on one of them, it will show me the actual properties. Listings, 7 listings. Let's click on it and, well, it should open the actual property, but it's not opening. Sorry for that. Okay, in any case, what you would need to do is copy the property and look for it in REFX. That way with the REFX, you will see all the information on the property and actually buy, if you're actually interested in buying the property and start your business with Airbnb. So let's go back. So that's what buy a deal and rental deal is for. Rental deal will show you properties not active for sale, but active for rent. But they are also properties that the system considers that are attractive for being put at per rent per days. It takes a little bit to load. Sorry for this. Again, took me out, so let's go back to Florida. Miami, go listings, and let's zoom in. This is, I'm going to zoom in. Let's zoom in. Okay. So these are properties that are active for rent. This is this one. It has a list price of $1,750. We have in this area, we have 11,692 active rentals with an average daily rate. This is the average daily rate would be the average rate per room in this area for daily rentals. It's $73 with an occupancy rate of 96%, with a revenue 24% above of what the regular rentals would have as a revenue. Let's look for this one. Let's see the property, Miami. Here we have 8210 Southwest Miami. This is a property that has a list price of $6,990. Average daily rate in this area would be, that is, if you take 6,990, that is the rent for the whole year. If you divide it by 365, you would get 476. But if you rent it for per days, this particular property, the system considers that the average daily rate would be 2,900, actually quite expensive. Let's look at another one. List price 250. This is for rent with a average daily rate of 124. This is more like it. However, the average daily rate considered for this area is 1,000. Wow. Not for me, actually. But that's what this area goes for average daily rates for the per day rentals. With an occupancy rate for regular rentals, of course, as I told you before, the regular rentals, they will always be very close to 100%. However, the occupancy rate for this area is 74%, which is not bad. Giving you that, renting it per with regular rentals, you will have a revenue in the year of 3,600, and renting it per days would have a revenue of 22,000. So as you see, the difference is quite high. In any case, remember that if you have any questions, if you want to know more about BnB or anything else in REFX, you can always give us a call and schedule a coaching, and we'll be happy to have a one-on-one with you and answer any direct questions and any doubts you might have and help you get started with whenever you want to get started. Remember, you have in REFX the blue bubble here, and in BnB you have this chat here. If you click there, it works just the same as the blue bubble in REFX, and you can open a chat with us, ask any quick question. Remember that we answer during office hours from 9 a.m. in the morning till 6 in the afternoon. We'll answer it immediately and let you, but if you're working after hours, just leave your question there and we'll be happy to answer it when we come in next morning. I hope this was of help to all of you. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you and hope you have a great day. Bye.